Right, Netath, good morning. Please have a seat. Well, this morning everyone seemed a lot more chippier than yesterday, the first day back. So sometimes it just takes a day to get back into the swing of things and get used to that slightly earlier alarm clock than you've probably been used to over the break. So I hope everyone had a really excellent break and that you had a chance to recover and reset and get yourself lined up for this third term, which will hopefully see a lot more of that sun that we've seen this morning, and things will heat up, and that always makes a difference. Before we kick off, I just thought I'd draw your attention to some things that have been happening and are really symbolic of a vibrant school and a place that we would like to be for you, that just offers you opportunities to just delve into different areas and have really inspiring experiences as you move along your journeys here. So we had 4 students who attended a Model UN conference in New York over the break. We had a trip to Spain and Andorra. It's currently ongoing, but it was set up just at the end of last term, the CVAC Youth Arts Festival Showcase, and we had 3 awards of excellence in that. There was a girls' rugby tour to the UK. There was a culminating event of this this IEA competition, of which we had a number of riders who did incredibly well. Our team did a fantastic job in that. We welcomed exchange students back from Australia. 3 of our students had been over there for a 6-week experience. We have a finalist in the French category of the National Poetry and Voice competition. And upcoming this term, we've got the play, the spring concert. A lot of the competitive sports are picking up again in this season, for this spring season, and there's just a whole host of other things as well going on. And I wanted to mention that just to obviously acknowledge for those students in the chapel this morning who were a part of those experiences, and just say that we're so proud of how you conducted yourselves and how you are conducting yourselves on those trips. But also just to recognize that yes, it's busy and yes, there's a lot on, but there's some really cool opportunities there, and hopefully you'll just continue to find those as you move through grade 9 and 10, and then you're moving into grade 10 and 11. Is just try and stretch yourselves and just be open-minded to trying something new, or hopefully as you do that, you'll find things that you're passionate about. It's my experience at school. I wasn't always looking forward to every single class that I had, and sometimes that classroom experience can perhaps not be the thing that gets you up in the morning, but sometimes it's these extra pieces or the pieces on the edges that can help keep you going, and that can help inspire you, and that can actually help energize you and help you perform better in the classroom too. Although I know for many of you really do love that piece as well. So another experience that's upcoming is a Queen Margaret School Model UN that started in, I think, 2020. I think there was an online version of it then, and last year we had over 30 students who were involved in it. Okay, so MUN is up and coming, and we have a couple of students, Maya and Kieran, who are going to come up and speak to you a little more about it. Please welcome them up.
All right. Hello, everyone. As previously mentioned, I am Kieran. This is Maya. And we are here to tell you guys all about Model UN at QMS. So Model UN, for those of you who don't know, is a process in which everybody who comes is assigned a country, and we discuss and debate and hopefully come to a consensus on various important issues facing the United Nations and the world as a whole. There's lots of reasons, multitudes, that you should do Model UN, but they include, first of all, it's a great way to learn about the world. You can learn about parts of the world you might not normally interact with, and there are countless skills that can be applied in much broader contexts that you can gain from Model UN. Public speaking is a big one. I would be doing terribly presently. Hopefully I'm not doing terribly in your eyes. But I would not have the confidence I have in public speaking were it not for Model UN. And the great thing is, if you start at the age you're at now and really enjoy it and really progress and build your skills, by the time you're in grade 11 or 12, we've been on several trips. We've been to Montreal in previous years. We went to New York this year. So you can engage in some really interesting opportunities.
So this year at Queen MUN, we're going to have 2 committees. Both of those are beginners committees. So if you have 0 experience, that's totally fine. If you can do a couple conferences, that works too. But yeah, we're going to be walking you through the process and how it works and how to succeed in research and debate and all that. So you don't need to worry about not having experience. And those 2 committees are a General Assembly Committee on fossil fuels, which is kind of like the classic MUN experience. You're assigned a country, you're raising your placard, you're debating, you're writing resolutions about what your country thinks that people should do. And then our other committee is kind of new to Queen MUN. We're going to be doing a crisis committee, which is usually a more advanced thing. So you're not often going to get the opportunity to do a crisis at a beginner level. But we wanted to give you guys that opportunity. Crisis is more fast-paced. You have more control, so you're not like suggesting to do actions. You're saying like, our country's doing this, I'm doing this. So that's super fun. And our crisis is about locusts in Africa, which is a bit of a niche topic, but I think that you guys will find as you research it that it was a pretty big problem. It had a lot of wide-ranging impacts, and yeah, it'll be super fun. Those are our 2 committees.
Yeah, there's some top-notch committees. Logistically speaking, the conference is on May the 11th. It'll run from 9 to 3 like a normal school day. Lunch is included, and you can show up as early as 8:30.
Yeah.
But you do have to register.
Yeah, if you're interested, you can register at queenmun.qmslife.com, and hopefully that'll also be in the announcement somewhere, but you can also just go on and type that website in and register, and yeah, we hope to see you guys there. It'll be super fun.
Good.
Yeah.
What other schools have been invited?
Oh, I don't know. Mr. Pienaar, I think he knows.
Do you know?
Oh, no.
Mr. Pienaar doesn't know.
Okay. Mrs. Faber knows, though, because she's in charge of that.
Mrs. Faber knows? There's been some.
There's been some. We're still ironing some of that out, if I'm being honest. Francis Kelsey is kind of the top of the list there. Yeah. But yeah, there will probably be people from other schools around.
Yeah.
I just have a question for either of you. Can you maybe give us a highlight from your MUN experience, maybe a particular committee you were in, where there was an interesting resolution or an engaging session that you can recall off the top of your head?
I think for me, one of the most fun committees I've been in was when I did a House of Commons committee at Vancouver MUN. I was Andrew Scheer. Since it was House of Commons, I was like representing him. I was him. And yeah, that was a really fun committee, both to like explore some opposing ideologies and stuff, but also it's just like, it's really fun if you guys have ever watched like Question Period and all that, and like Canadian Parliament. Obviously it's very like intense and aggressive and even sometimes a little silly. So yeah, that was a fun committee for me.
I think in my case it would have to be, I did a joint crisis committee at VMUN two years ago, in which I was Admiral Nimitz in the Pacific Theater of World War II. And it was a very good committee. We had almost won the war by the second session, so the director actually came to us and asked some of us to betray the cause so that we would have something to talk about for the next 2 days of the conference.
Yeah, and that type of like committee that Kieran is in is usually like a super advanced thing, like being in that type of crisis, but like I said, at Queen Mon, you guys can do a crisis, even
Yeah.
though you're beginners. So
The
super
war
cool.
on locusts.
The war on locusts.
Anyways, that's that, I
Yeah.
think, for us. See you there.
Not much more to say. Get yourself registered for MUN. Sign up and go and have a great experience. Thank you very much, Maya and Kieran. I was fortunate enough to head to the UK on the girls' rugby tour, and it was an amazing trip, great experience. Lots of sights seen and lots of battles engaged with on the field, and the girls were just absolutely stellar throughout. On one occasion, after we played an Edinburgh Selects team in Balerno, just on the edges of Edinburgh, we had a really cool experience, and the Edinburgh Selects team had prepared these songs to sing, and so they were going to go upstairs and sing them to our team, because that's part of the whole sort of touring experience and it's part of the rugby culture. Now, we found out about that, I think, about 10 minutes before we went up the stairs to go in here, and realized that we needed to respond with something as well. And so it was a bit of a scramble. Well, what were we going to sing and how are we going to respond to their singing? And they'd lined up this very famous song. I think it's by the Corries, Loch Lomond, isn't it? Is it the Corries that sing that? Loch Lomond.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, I don't know why I mentioned that, because nobody probably recognises the name of the Corries, but throw it in there for you. Anyway, so they sang Loch Lomond, and probably considering they'd practiced it, didn't quite nail it, but then they immediately bounced into like their sort of club song, and which was essentially a rehash of a sort of a dance anthem from the end of the 90s. I tried it. I tried singing it yesterday. It fell a bit flat. No one had heard it. Probably not going to attempt it this morning. So, yeah. But what was so great about the event, and it just sort of escalated, and then we sang, and I think there was Titanium came out, and then they sang another one, and there was Cotton Eye Joe and dancing, and it was really, really cool, and it was a lot of fun. And what it did is it just brought everyone together, closer together, lifted the energy in the place, and we just had a really, really good time. It also, at times, it just demonstrates your unity and just the pride that you have for your collective, right? Whatever that collective is. And so we're going to do some singing this morning, and I hope it's going to do a few of those things. Hopefully, we'll be able to generate a sort of a volume that we can all sort of be proud in, and also to a degree sort of hide in. For those of you who are not maybe the most confident singers, the louder we are collectively, and the more effort you put into it, the less likely, ironically, you are to sort of be heard. So I think we can all, I'm seeing a few nods, yeah, that sort of makes sense. So let's see if we can do that. Let's also see if we can demonstrate some of our pride in this school that we go to. Okay, we have a lot of shared experiences here, from when we arrive in the morning to when we leave in the afternoon, and for those who board, it's round the clock. Okay, and I'm sure you've got lots of fond moments, whether it's with friends, whether it's with teachers, okay, all sorts of ways. So let's get a bit of that pride out today. Here we go. So let's do the first 4 lines together, okay, as a group. Thank you, Miss Hanson.
Let's go straight in.
We'll just go.
What do you want that intro again?
Let's do the intro again. I'm sorry. We're getting somewhere. This is really getting quite good. Okay, so what I think we'll do is, I think if we can sustain that, I'm not sure we necessarily need to go with the sort of the Mike's, Gabe's, Hughes approach. I think that if we dig deep and we have a quality third verse together, that might do us, okay? Because we've got Founders Day coming up. All right, Founders Day is on Thursday next week, and at the assembly we will be singing this, and we cannot afford for it to fall flat and for us not to absolutely belt it out. All right, so let's do third verse all the way through, all together, and let's get a really quality finish. And if it's really good, we'll pause there. So we're just going to do the third verse, please, Ms. Hanson. Yeah. Good. Have a seat, please. Excellent work. Okay, outstanding start to the day. Thank you for lifting it throughout that and humoring me and coming along with it, because, as I mentioned, Founders Day, we've got to sing this well. All right, so we'll be in Founders Hall, and we will get behind it. The 11s and 12s had a really good practice yesterday. We've had a good session today. We've got the 7s and 8s on Thursday, and then next week we're going to get another opportunity just to fine tune it. Okay, so thank you very much for that. Thank you to Ms. Hanson as well, who came this morning to play for us, and all those intros, greatly appreciated. Thank you. And I will, right. There you go. Impromptu applause, you know it's meant. And I'll pass over to DBR. Thank you.
Thank you. I think the phrase of the day so far is Aya Caramba. Huh? What does that mean? It's good though. No, good morning everybody, first of all. I've been through more school years and the rhythms of a school year than I care to remember, as you well know. And I'm sensing the rhythm that I really like, which is, you know, you get through all the nerves and the excitement and the newness often of the beginning of the year, the first term, and the first term's a long term, and you're trying to establish all sorts of dynamics and good habits and all the rest of it. And then the second term is just sort of hang in there term for the most part, right? There are highlights in there, but it's hang in there and get through the second term. And then the third term is the spring. Spring is sprung and all that type of thing, where you spring into action and everybody comes back, as Mr. Monroe alluded to, with new energy, ready to finish really strongly. Because just as it's important to start really strongly, it's important to really finish really strongly. So that's what you want to do. You want to build on all that good work that's gone before, and finish the school year really strongly in a way that we go off for the summer feeling that, one, we've really earned our summer break, and two, we can't wait to get back with our friends and classmates and teachers and so on, and coaches. So that's what's on our agenda for this term, and I get the sense that you're all up for it. This whole business of singing, by the way, there's a real joy in singing together. It doesn't actually matter what you're singing. Some of you have encountered in your parties, karaoke gatherings, wherever you sing together, there is a joy from singing together. If you've ever been lucky enough to be in a stadium where 70,000 people are singing together, I kid you not, that's an experience that transcends. It's sort of, you cannot fail to be physically and spiritually affected by that, right? So Now, we're not going to get 70,000 in the chapel here, but we can create a semblance of the feeling that Mr. Monroe's going for. And as some of you know, I've been on this journey. I've been in that role where we were trying to take a community, a school community, which didn't really sing, to a place where 500 or 600 people would sing regularly together at the top of their lungs. And I'm looking around, there's a few people who know exactly and have experienced exactly what I'm talking about, right? So it is possible and it is worthwhile, and it does become something incredibly memorable. So stick with it. That's a great start this morning. And then the last thing I want to do, a shameless plug for Model UN, which is one of the programs that we're really proud of. We're proud of a number of our programs, obviously, but Model UN has just been a real jewel in the crown at QMS since I've been here, and we're really excited about the future of it. And that little skill that Kieran and Maya exemplified there about talking in front of people is so valuable for you. And those of you who are sitting out there feeling, well, I could never stand up there and do what Mr. Robertson's doing right now, or no, that's not for me. I kid you not, it's absolutely a lot easier and much more attainable than you think it is. It's just like most things. You have to take the first leap, and then it's just practice, and then a few simple little techniques. So expose yourself to that. Try, put yourself out there. Try the Model UN, try and get involved, and then if you're at all interested in learning about speaking in front of people, come and talk to us, and we can give you some initial little pointers that might take you to an experience where you do stand up here before you finish at QMS and address the school. Okay? So, everything's in place for an outstanding finish to the school year at QMS. And I wish you all well. Thank you. Thank you.